This is the third of 3 videos on working without paper in an accounting practice. In the first video, I suggested a plan for processing jobs and a separate plan for other Sundry work. For Sundry work, I suggested using a blank Excel file in place of a physical notepad. To help you with this part of the plan, I have inserted a link below this video to a free download of a blank template set up for this purpose. And this is the template. I've zoomed in for easier viewing. It has an automatic table of contents sheet which should not be changed. Separate sheet for calculations. For example, simple additions, against which you can deduct private use of say 25%. Simple subtractions, multiplications, and divisions. There's also a separate sheet for notes, into which you can add just about anything. For example, a client might ring and give you a stock figure that you've been waiting for, so that figure can be put straight into this sheet with a note alongside. A cell in Excel is not the best place to put a long note, so if you need to put anything of any length in here, text-wise, your best option is to go to Insert and Text Box, draw the box and type away until your heart's content. That box can be resized, moved, you can add colour to it. The options here are unlimited. Now you can also add an unlimited number of worksheets to this workbook by simply adding on the plus sign alongside the tab sheets at the bottom. So for example, if I add a sheet, the workbook has added sheet 5. If I go back to the table of contents, you'll see that sheet 5 is automatically shown in the table. I can rename sheet 5 by double clicking and giving it a new name. And back at the table of contents, that new name is now reflected. And I can delete any sheet by right clicking and choosing delete. I get the usual Excel warning, and back at the table of contents, that sheet is now gone. You might use a new sheet in this template, for example, to make notes about a new client not yet on your system, to review returns due soon and action to be taken, to make notes from an online seminar or staff meeting, maybe to help a client with ATO payments due soon, or to monitor productivity figures, or to check on jobs in progress and jobs overdue, and many other things. You should rename each new sheet added for easy retrieval using the table of contents, and delete any sheets when no longer needed. You can even copy sheets from other Excel files into this workbook. To do that, open both the source and destination files, right-click on the sheet tab to be copied, select Move or Copy, select the name of the workbook to which you want to make a copy, select the position of this sheet in the new workbook, and importantly, make sure you check Create a Copy, otherwise the worksheet will actually be moved and not copied. Click OK, and the sheet is now copied to our template. And if you go back to the table of contents, you'll see that the Just Testing sheet is now in the table. Why not download the template and give it a try? Open it when you commence work each day and keep it open while you work. I'm sure you'll get good use from this simple little template. The rest of this video is to give you some tips on working with Excel to help you with your transition to paperless processing. As accountants, it should be the most important tool in your toolbox, so it is in your best interest to get familiar with what is possible and how to do it. Here is how to do some of the more important things in Excel. Using multiple windows in Excel gives you simultaneous access to two or more parts of the same workbook, which is great for comparing sheets or looking up or copying data in other sheets. To open a second or third or more window, go to View on the main menu and select New Window in the window group. You'll see at the top of the screen that the file name that I've called Sample Excel File has a 2 after the name, which indicates this is the second window. If I go and open another window, you can see that there's now a 3. So I have 3 windows open of the same file. To navigate in a large workbook with many worksheets, you can click on the right hand or left hand arrows at the bottom of the screen and the worksheets will scroll across and you'll eventually find the sheet you're looking for. Of course, the bigger the workbook, the harder this process is. So the easiest way to look for a particular sheet is to right click on this arrow and a menu will pop up with a full listing of all of the sheets in this workbook. You can scroll through that listing, select the particular sheet you're looking for, double click, and you're taken straight to that sheet. Normal pasting of data in Excel can result in a column not being wide enough to show all of the data. To overcome this, you choose Paste Special column widths and the column will automatically expand to show the content. For example, the data on the screen is being copied now, and if I just paste normally, you can see that the descriptions are too long for the width of the columns and some of the numbers don't display either. So if I undo that and copy again, but this time I'm going to Paste Special, hover over the little arrow there and choose the Keep Source Column Widths image, and you can see that the columns have automatically expanded to fit the data. You can put an image of anything on your computer into Excel by pasting a screenshot. To paste a screenshot, go to the Insert tab, select the Illustrations group, Screenshot and Screen Clipping. The screen will then be displayed grayed out. You can select an area on that screen to clip and let go, and there is your screenshot. If I zoom out from there to 100%, you'll get a better view of what's just been posted. So that's quite a simple way of putting anything from the screen into Excel. Sometimes you might want to put data in front of or on top of other data and move the existing data either right or down. Or you might want to delete existing data and have data to the right or underneath moved left or up. To do that, you select the cells where the data is to be entered or data deleted, right click and click Insert or Delete as needed. For example, on the screen in front of us, if I select all of the text in that column B and right click and choose Insert, I can shift cells right by clicking OK, and everything's moved across one column. Of course, the problem here is that some of those columns are now not large enough to display all the data. It's very simple to fix that. You just double click on the right hand border of each column and the column will expand to show the data. Likewise, you can shift cells down by, for example, if I want to put 2 lines of data in the middle of this list, I can select everything underneath right click, choose insert and shift cells down, and I've inserted 4 blank rows between or in the middle of the data that I've just selected. Same goes for deleting cells. If I choose those blank cells that I just inserted, I can right click, choose delete and select shift cells up, and I'm back to where I started. Moving data around in Excel is easy. You select the cells to be moved, you hover over an outside edge of the selection, not a corner, click and hold and drag and drop. So if I select the data on the screen, hover over one of the edges until the mouse becomes a plus sign with 4 arrow pointers, click and hold and drag, those cells will be moved to a new position. I can move them back the same way, hover over the border, click and hold, move back. I can move parts of the data. It's quite simple to move data to wherever you desire. Don't spend too much time making your data look pretty in Excel. Make use of inbuilt styles to quickly transform your plain text to presentation standard. Go to the Home tab, Styles group, and click on this last down arrow to expand all of the available styles. You can select text type, headings and title types, colors, background colors for your cells, number formats, etc. So to demonstrate, if I select the headings here for my table, go to styles and choose heading 2, they change automatically. I might like to change the text style for the descriptions by selecting those descriptions, going to the styles and choosing, say, explanatory text. I might like to change the number format by selecting the numbers, going to the style and choosing currency. You'll notice if you hold your mouse over the different style, you get a preview of what that style will look like when applied. So in this case I'll choose currency. Nice and easy. To quickly increase or decrease the font size, select the font to be changed, and alongside the font size under Home/Font on the menu, click on either the large A to increase or the small a to decrease the font size. For example, if I select the heading on the screen in front of us, go up to the font section of the Home group and click on the capital A, you'll notice that the font size will increase. If I keep clicking, it'll just keep increasing. And if I click on the little a, it will reduce. Much quicker way than going through the menus and font settings, etc. You can do the same for text below that. That means that the noise means that you're now at the minimum size. We'll go back a bit higher. The numbers, I might want to increase that. And notice that the columns are automatically resizing to fit the numbers. If you have a format that you would like to copy to another cell, select the cell with the desired formatting, click on the Format Painter icon on the Home/Clipboard menu, and click on the cell to be reformatted. To reformat multiple cells, select the cell with the desired formatting, double click on the Format Painter, and click on each cell to be reformatted. You will then need to press the Escape key to stop the reformatting. For example, if I want to copy the format in my title in this table, I select the cells with the formatting I would like to copy, click on the Format Painter, and click on the cells to be reformatted, and the format is copied. Likewise with the data in this table, if I select all of that data, click on the Format Painter icon and select the data to be reformatted, format is copied. And finally, if I have cells that are not adjacent to each other that I would like to reformat using the same formatting, select the cell with the formatting that you want to use, double click on the Format Painter, and then click individually on each of the cells to be reformatted. And press Escape, otherwise every time you click it will be a reformat on that cell. Sometimes you might like to hide some columns or rows in a large worksheet to make the more important data visible on one screen. To hide a column or row, right-click on the column or row label and choose Hide. To unhide, select rows or columns on each side of those hidden rows or columns. Right-click and select Unhide. For example, if I want to hide column D, I right-click on the column label and choose Hide. If I would like to hide row 11, I'll right-click on the label and choose Hide. To unhide column D, I select the columns on either side of it and right-click and choose Unhide. And to unhide row 11, I select the rows on each side of it, right-click and choose Unhide. Sometimes you might want to insert a link to another location in the current file or to a web page. To do that, right-click on the cell, select Link, select the location within the document or copy and paste the URL and click OK. For example, if I'd like to place a link here to a cell in this workbook, I right-click, choose Link, make sure I have Place in this document selected, choose the particular worksheet that you would like to link to. You can change the cell reference if you like. AM1 comes in as the default and click OK. Now when I click on that cell, I'm taken straight to the particular worksheet that I linked. If I want to insert a link to a website, it's a similar procedure. Right-click on the cell, choose Link, select existing file or web page, and go to the web page which you'll probably have open. Right-click on the URL, copy, back to your worksheet, right-click, paste, select OK, and now when you click on that cell, you are taken directly to that web page. You may not always want to print the entire document in your Excel workbook or even the entire worksheet. To print just a part of the existing worksheet, select the area to be printed, select File, /Print, and choose the print selection under Settings. For example, if I choose this area of the worksheet here, go to File, select Print, and under Settings, I select Print Selection, you'll see that just the selected cells are showing on the printed preview. And the final tip, to quickly increase the size of a portion of the worksheet for easier viewing, you select the area to be increased and choose View, Zoom, or Zoom to Selection. For example, on the screen we have a very small amount of text, and if we want to view that area of the worksheet more easily, we click on Zoom to Selection in the Zoom group. And that's automatically zoomed so that we can read it more clearly. To return to the normal view in the same group, click on 100%. At the bottom of this video you will find a link to download the lookup file with all of the steps referred to above.